this little teeny thought pops in your head and then it changes everything. An above ground subway system, a huge Pandora's box that I don't want to open up. I'm not even kidding, guys. I mean, this could be bad. It gave me a bloody nose. 4 studs could be a nightmare. It's a small thought at this point. I need to prioritize some things in my life. It could potentially be very, very destructive. I've been fighting with this idea for quite a while now, and I've finally given in. I've made the official decision. Brickadelphia is getting an above ground subway system. In a way, it's kind of like I'm hitting the old reset button on the city. Early on in the process, I had to ask myself, is the space that I'm gonna take up with this track gonna benefit the city? These questions early on really helped me figure out that I did not want to do a full loop. If I was gonna do a full loop, I would have to worry about, powering the trains as well as devoting a lot of space to it. Brickadelphia is a completely flat city. I don't have risers or platforms to give the city different levels of elevation. So really the goal of my subway is to give Brickadelphia another level, another dimension of interest. So what have I done so far? Well, besides totally destroying my city, ripping out buildings and and creating complete chaos. I'm drawing on the city of Chicago for inspiration. A lot of it is built directly above roads. I really want my subway to have 2 tracks. 2 tracks. 2 tracks. And I thought that this road right here would be the perfect spot for it. It starts off double wide right here, and as it goes along, it splits off into 2 paths. One path going off to the wall here, and then the other path going behind the police station. I've also decided on a height for the track. When looking underneath the track, it's high enough to where you can still see the first floor of buildings through it. It's pretty close to what I think it would look like in real life. This is kind of what I'm going for as far as the design of the pillars. You'll have to use your imagination just a little bit. These aren't the colors that I'm using. I just kind of grabbed some bricks and went for it. It's not so modern, it's more old. That's a really stupid way to say it. So that's what I've done, but what do I have to do yet? So many thoughts in my head. So many voices. First thing, I have to determine the exact placement of the pillars and the track. This plays a very important factor in so many things. How I build the roads, the placement of buildings. Placement of buildings, that is a huge one. As it stands right now, the police department is in the way. This is one of those things I was afraid about. I have this whole section worked out, or so I thought. Back to the drawing board on that, I guess. And if you watched my last video, you've already noticed that I've begun to redesign this other building on the other side of the track. I just need to figure out these last 2 floors here. And actually, I have a pretty cool idea that I've kind of been thinking about for the ground floor of this building. I'm always thinking about changing things. It gets me into trouble. Second thing, I need to work on the track design. Not only do I have to figure out what I'm gonna do for the ballast, but I need to figure out what I'm gonna lay the track on. As of right now, I'm thinking of having a beam that'll run parallel with the track and will rest directly on the Technic supports that I currently have in place. It's just a matter of figuring out how I'm gonna attach all that stuff together. I'm really nervous about it being dark under the track. I really need to be conscious about how much light passes through the track. I really do not want it to be dark under there. Along with that, I also need to figure out what I'm gonna do to hide the ends of the track. Lego track has little clips on the edges of it. It's not a nice clean edge, so figuring out how to do that is gonna be pretty challenging, I think. A lot of Lego creators use tunnels to have their track go into. The track just kind of goes off into imaginary land. Ooh. If you've been watching my channel for a while now, you know that I don't like to do things the way that everyone else does. Not really sure I want to do the tunnel thing. I don't really know what else to do though. Maybe you guys could help me out? How are you feeling right now? I'm so glad you asked. Ay caramba. Did I just say ay caramba? I'm a bit stressed. I'm a bit overwhelmed. OCD's kicking in a little bit. This place is a flippin' mess. Pieces everywhere. Oop. But at the same time, I'm pretty excited. I draw inspiration from Chicago as well as other large cities like New York. And I think that this thing has the potential to give Brickadelphia that old school urban flavor. There was a time when my Lego room was not in a state of disorder, and Brickadelphia was not in a state of chaos. It was a simpler time. If you're curious about what that might have looked like, I'm gonna leave this video right here for you. As always, thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you next time. Bye! Deuces. Is that a thing? Deuces? Bye.